Level up, level up. Bah, bah, bah. Do it like this. Okay, so welcome to another episode of On the Other Side of Momming, because there is more to this mom life. As you hear, we have a special guest. She can't talk yet, though. Um, yeah, we hear you, boo. But I'm so excited. Today we're going to talk about on the other side of the fourth trimester. And I think that's a topic that's not really discussed and talked about when we're talking about what we go through as women who decide to become moms. And so I am so honored to have one of my best friends, my sister, on the podcast today because she literally is on the other side of the fourth trimester because she decided to have another kid. And so a fourth one on top of that. So this is it's giving. It's giving. And so I'm just happy to invite Shaniqua Smith to the podcast. And I can go on and on about Neek and just who she is as a person, what she represents in my life. But there will be tears because it's just so much love. But she's so amazing, y'all. And I'm just excited to have her here. And listen, because we are moms, you're getting like real deal. Like she got the baby. So if you hear the baby in the background, just know we are momming it for real. If you hear the puppy, because we decided to get a fur child to start over who wakes up in the middle of the night. So we gonna be over here momming it. But anyway, Neek, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
Yes. So Neek, tell us about you. Like, who are you? Like, extraordinaire. Like, what is good?
I am Shaniqua Smith. I'm a social worker. I am a wife. I am a mom. I am a wonderful person. And I'm also a daycare, child care provider. I just closed down my daycare after about 2.5 years. I closed it down a month before I had our fourth daughter. But I had my own child care program here at home, and we had 5 children, and we were at capacity the whole time. So it was a nice time. It was a nice run, and I plan to open back up, but not in home. So if anybody knows of a building,
Please.
I am looking for a building so I can help the families, like my best friend here and others.
Yes,
but I need help to help them. So having the daycare by myself, it was a lot. It was fun, it was nice, but it was a lot. So
but you were so good at it. Yes, y'all, she was so good at it. Like, that is like, so a mutual friend of ours introduced us, and James was only supposed to go there like for a couple of months. Like, he wasn't even supposed to stay because his other babysitter was out on maternity leave as well. And we just like kind of fell in love with Neek. But I remember when I first met her and I pulled up to her house late, mind y'all, because y'all know I'm not on time. And I'm working on that. God has been really working on me about being timely, because I mean, I know they say cleanliness is next to godliness, but it just is, it's giving. So I didn't even care that was at her house. I didn't know if she was in a shack or not. It didn't matter. What I knew is that all 3 of these kids had somewhere to go when school started. And he was getting out. He couldn't stay at home with me. So I like walked in. I was like, "Oh, you certified too, girl? Okay, that's cute." Anyway, we'll see you Monday. We'll see you Monday.
No questions. I had already, because all of my other spots were filled by people I already knew. So this was my first referral outside of family and friends. And so when I got her referral, I was like, "Oh, let me look up some questions and stuff to ask her or that she might ask." And she had nothing for me. Nothing.
Yeah, she was trying to be professional.
And then she looked and saw my certificate or my license up, and she was like, "Oh, you professional. Oh, you certified. And I was like,
Looking back, I see how that could have been misinterpreted as offensive, possibly. Um,
Possibly.
Possibly,
Like, I don't know
but
how to take
it was a compliment. Like, okay, you legit. Like, you not listen, because what we're not gonna do is pretend that there are daycares running at people's homes that is they are not going through the proper channels.
they're not.
Okay, like they are not. They
You
are
just
not.
had
They
no
have
shame with it, and you were like, okay, my son will be here Monday. I didn't really, you didn't realize I was certified and licensed until you were walking out the door, I think.
yeah.
And
I think I looked over and saw. I thought, okay, that's what's up. We'll see you Monday. We'll for sure see you Monday. This is great. All right, God bless. Like.
yes, it was funny.
Good times. And I just knew we were gonna be friends, and she didn't know that we were gonna be friends. I forced myself upon her. Um,
She did.
and
It
here
was
we
one
are.
day, I think, it was a day where daycare wasn't open and she texted me and I was like, I remember looking at one of my other friends and I was like, I don't know why she texted me like we got friends. And
She
here we are. She
here
said
we
we were
are.
gonna be friends.
You
And we
know, I
are
look
the
for
best of
people
friends.
like her. Yeah, like they be trying to not listen, you're gonna be my friend. Once it's already decided this is
In your
what we're
head.
gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna be here. Like that might be the next episode on the other side of begging mommy friends because y'all be trying it. So as we always do, I love to like inspire moms and use like a motivational quote. And sometimes the quotes may not be as aspirational. I mean, that's to be fair. However, I think this one kind of speaks to the journey of when we after we delivered the babies. And so it's from an unknown source. So if you said it, you can let me know and we'll give you credit, but don't be lying because people lie, so don't lie. Um, but it says you'll learn to lower your expectations about what you can accomplish in a day. Some days it'll be all you can do to keep a baby safe, warm, and fed, and that will be enough. I think that's gospel.
That's really good.
So when you hear that, Neek, and thinking about like, you just have given birth within the last year, when you hear something like that, like, and having three other children, um, what does that quote, I guess, kind of, how does that hit you?
It hits really close to home, especially here lately. So I'm a new stay-at-home mom. Again, I just shut down the daycare last July. So I have been navigating this new space. I'm not used to being at home and not, you know, having a hand in providing financially. So when that quote speaks to like just like basically nurturing the baby, making sure they're fed and well and safe, that's
Mm.
something that I've been navigating in because I have this, and it's from childhood, I'm sure, but this like urge in me to try and make it look like I've done something or I've accomplished X, Y, and Z amount of tasks in a day. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just within the last week and a half that I've been okay with just being in the present. Like, if she's good, she's fed, she has on a clean diaper, we're good for that day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's been hard for me because I'll look and see like, oh, I didn't do the dishes, or oh, I didn't clean these clothes, I didn't fold these clothes. And inside, like, it does a whole lot. Like, so I'm learning to give myself grace. So that quote just confirmed where I'm at. Like,
Yeah, I think oftentimes, like, especially in the age of social media,
mm,
um, we see these pretty houses, these clean rooms, or we see these moms, they're cooking dinner, got a schedule, got a list, like,
yep.
and I'm like, how, Sway? Like, your kids look like the same age as my kids, and there's just no way. Like, take away the dogs. Like,
Yeah.
and my
Find,
house doesn't look
find
like
it.
that. Yeah. Do you ever feel yourself comparing to what you see on social, or even comparing to some of your friends who you might think have it together, so to speak?
Oh, yes, that is a struggle of mine. Because like you
Mm-hmm.
stated, especially now with social media being so easily available, like we can see everybody's day to day, get ready with me, all that. Everything looks
Mm-hmm.
aesthetically pleasing. And I just
Yeah.
look here and I'm like, it does not, it's not. equaling what I'm seeing. Like my life does
Yeah.
not look aesthetically pleasing. But one thing I have to remember is my home looks loved. My children feel safe here,
Mm-hmm.
feel comfortable. This is where they want to be 90% of the time. They're ready to get back home so we can just relax and watch family movies. So that's what's most
Yeah.
important. Do I struggle with comparison? Yes, I
I didn't
do.
even think of it. Like, that's really good. Like, a good point you bring up just about like they want to be here in this house that, you know, the space may not be as clean as we want it to be. It may not be, you know, all this fancy stuff, but this is, they rather be here. They rather get home than, you know, stay over at a friend's house or stay at like their grandparents or something. They're like, I want to get home to my bed. That's where my toys are. That's where my dogs are there, or like whatever the case may be. I feel like that's such a trap though. Like, you know, like you said, the highlight reel, right? A motherhood is what we see. Um, but nobody, like when you post the real stuff, people judge you, right? Because it's like, oh, you got dishes in your sink, or wait, like what's like, and it's just like, listen, y'all, I'm doing the best I can with what I got without trying to lose my mind on all
Yeah.
these people in this house. Um how do you kind of navigate with having a new baby? Because when we're talking about the fourth trimester, um, that's a term that I don't think a lot of people really know what it means when we hear it, when we say the fourth trimester. We're used to pregnancy obviously in 3 trimesters. So how would you define the fourth trimester for you? Like, what would you say?
The fourth trimester to me is that transition of having the baby home, what that looks like, because it seems you never think of how much adding one new baby to a family changes things, but it shifts everything.
Mm-hmm.
It shifts everybody's schedule. It shifts how you maneuver. It shifts how you handle things. Because even with me not working right now, we had to realize like the pros and cons of me working or going out back into the
Mm-hmm.
workforce or being home, because childcare alone, like
It's
for an
high as
infant,
hell.
it's about paying mortgage for an
Yeah.
infant. So you're paying almost 300 a week for an infant. So it's like,
Child,
does
and we
that
in the
make sense for,
South.
yeah, does that make sense for me to go to work and have to worry about paying childcare? And then that also
Mm-hmm.
means like me and my husband, somebody's leaving work early to go pick this child up, make sure somebody's
Yeah.
home for the other girls when they get home, because the two middle ones get
Yeah.
home before the oldest. So like, it's like, what makes more sense for our
Yeah.
home? So not only
Yeah.
that, but adjusting to a new personality, just a new norm, and also adjusting as yourself, because me, I had a baby and I feel like, oh, I'm good, I'm ready to go, but my body is shifting. Like different things have changed in my body. Even mentally, like
Yeah.
it's a new, like I'm having to mentally be prepared for 4 different personalities. That's just the children, not including
She said
being
it's just the
available.
kids.
Not just that doesn't include like me making space for my husband, and then let alone myself, and in time with God. So, and then
Yeah.
friends. It's just that transition, that space of just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I think like when I discovered the fourth trimester, that time, the postpartum period essentially, like one of the things I remember was the wave of emotions, like how I felt like after I gave birth, and then like the days and weeks after that, just feeling like, okay, what now? Like,
Mm,
why am I, you know, because I was feeling good, and then all of a sudden, like, okay, what's happening here? Like,
that
why do I
happened to
feel
me.
sad? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, why do I feel sad all of a sudden? Why do I feel we're gonna get into this, but first, hold on. I also want to talk about that first poop. Now listen, I think it's
So
important. Yes,
I
cause
warn
let's
people
talk about
because
that.
with my second born, so we have 4, but my oldest is my bonus baby, so she's my husband's.
Mm.
But so my firstborn, I don't remember that first bowel movement being like deadly, but that second born,
Not deadly.
I was like, I gotta go to the hospital. There has got to be another child in here. Like nobody warned me. There's another child. I remember praying. I remember praying, sweating, and like I was just like, what is going on here? So I was I was anxious about that with this one, but it wasn't as bad. But I think it's because they gave me enough stool softeners and stuff
Because
before I
listen,
left.
the stool softeners save lives because it's something about, first of all, them second kids. Anyway, they different, right? Because I'm just the level, number one, the level of constipation I had with her. I remember we missed church. Okay. I missed church trying to go poop because I couldn't get it out. And I thought I was squishing her so I wouldn't like push it out because my belly was so big. So I was like, well, I don't want to hurt her in my stomach. And so I was just like, oh my God. And I just remember having I mean, you just stop. Like, you got to keep it real. Like, people don't want to talk about it, but listen, I had to get on all fours to get. Listen, it was like delivering, and I just remember thinking, "Ain't no way, ain't no way." And then after having her, that first, yes, same, because I was like, "Yo."
But I did notice with this delivery, I had the best nurses taking care of me. Like I
Oh, that's
had one lady,
good.
she was older and she had like 8 kids at least, but she was so sweet. She came
Wait,
in like
what?
she was we got close. Like she told me about her children and
Well, I mean,
stuff.
she got eight
But
children. Yeah,
she was
she's
so
fine.
attentive to me. I don't
Well,
remember
she got
that
eight.
kind of well, it
Neat.
was
She
her and
had
it was another younger nurse and
But
they
she
took
has
care of
eight
me.
children. Yeah, she know how to take care of people and children.
Well,
She had
she
eight
made
of them.
sure that I was good. So I don't remember that experience with the other two when I was in the hospital. And mind you, with this one, I don't know if they were just
Mhm.
like, hey, you've been here multiple times. You're good. You ready to go? You can go. But we left a day earlier than we've ever left with the other two. They were like, I mean, if you're feeling good, if you want to go home, just sign these forms
I
so that you can
mean,
go home. But even with us
yeah,
leaving to go home earlier, I felt the most cared for within those 2 days that I was at the
that's
hospital
good.
with the nurses that I
Yeah,
had. And I think they actually made that first bowel movement experience and just my recovery so smooth. But like you said, that fourth trimester hit, it didn't hit me for a good like 3 months after. My whole pregnancy was
yeah,
different. I feel like emotionally and mentally, I was really good. Even when I had her, I
yeah.
feel like I was on this like natural high. I felt so good. Like, oh, like when I was in the hospital, I barely slept because I was just in hog heaven. Like, oh, I got
Oh,
this new baby. Like, I just felt like, oh, life is
oh, you
beautiful.
was in the moment.
I was like that for a while, for a few months, and then it just hit me. I don't know if it's because I was in like anticipating this cloud because I've had postpartum depression really bad with my firstborn, our second. I had it terribly. And so I think I
Mm-hmm.
was just mentally I think that was in the back of my mind. It's like, oh, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
postpartum. I don't want it. I don't want it. And then I felt like
Yeah.
a little cloud come. And so like it hit
Okay.
around the end of last year and earlier this year. So I don't know if it was a mixture of that. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
post that fourth trimester, like you said, on the other side of mommy and that fourth trimester, like it could have been a mixture of things. It could have been my
Yeah.
fear postpartum coming back. It could have been all this transition with 4 girls. We have 4 in the
Yeah.
household. Me not working anymore. It could have just been a combination.
Everything. Yeah. I think like with the postpartum, I remember it more so with kid two with Savvy because I remember that's when I felt like I was drowning in
Mhm.
my motherhood. That's when I felt like I could rationalize some things and I was like, nah, let me get some help. And even though I took like the little test and stuff and it was like coming back saying I didn't have it, I was like, no, something's wrong. Like I'm like I like my kid and everything like that and like all my kids, but I'm also like I'm not feeling this
I'm
life.
glad
Like
you
this is
recognized it.
Yeah, I recognized it because it felt so weird and it felt very strong. And she was maybe about 4 or 5 months at the time. And so it just felt like a lot. Like I felt like I was carrying a lot. And like you said, it could have been because I had other things going on. I had just like restarted my law firm. I was like, trying to build this law firm up. I was also trying to I think I was finishing up or had just finished my first novel and was like kind of like what am I doing with this, like am I going to actually pursue being an author for real or was this just a one-off and I just did something. And so, but I just remember feeling very unfulfilled. And it was a weird feeling that I never felt that way prior to having kids. And so, yeah, I went and I think I was with my first therapist for so long. Like, she was so amazing. And then I decided to like switch over to a different type of therapy. But yeah, no, I think recognizing that's part of it too. Like, that fourth trimester is the sleep deprivation. It is if you're nursing or if you're bottle feeding or whatever you're doing, it is trying to just, whether you got one kid or like we got multiples, 3 and 4, having to navigate this new space, this new life with this new human who demands your attention. Like,
That new normal.
it is what it. I don't like it sometimes.
That new normal. See, I'm glad you were able to recognize, because with Azaria, my firstborn, I did. So I knew something was off, but like you, I was going through a whole lot at once. Like, I was in grad school, working, picked up another. It was a lot. It was a lot going on with us. But it wasn't. It was actually my husband that noticed mostly and wanted me to get help. It was like we got into it pretty bad, and we were actually in the process of getting married. Yeah, we were in the process of wedding planning and all that. So I think she had to be like a year and a half, 15 months, and that's when he was like, I think it's something like you should get seen, because it was really bad. I'm not gonna go into detail of how bad it was, but it was pretty bad.
Rough.
Yeah. So I saw a psychiatrist. I got referred to one by my therapist that I had at the moment. And by the time I did that and got the help, guess what happened?
You was knocked
I found
up
out
again.
I was pregnant again. It was so lovely. And I'm sorry. I have to get her pacifier. I am so sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
So I honestly don't know, because like I said, I did find out I was pregnant in the process of trying to get help with that. I don't know. I don't know if I really processed that postpartum for real. But I am in therapy again now and things. So yeah. I'm taking the steps needed during this new normal.
That's all you can do though, right? Is like, because that is a new normal. Like, our hormones are up and now they're down because what was keeping them up is out. Quite literally, the baby is out. And so now we're having to process, and then couple that with lack of sleep, and all the other things. It's like having pledged, it's like being online.
We've been hazed.
We've been hazed. Although I'm a part of a non-hazing organization. But I just had
love you. Had to put that disclosure out there.
Just disclosure out there. I'm part of a non-hazing organization. We don't, subscribe to that. But it is like, it's like you're being hazed. It's like you are forced to step up in a way that if you're not used to it, it takes away. I feel like motherhood kind of forces you, at least in the beginning, until you figure it out, to not be as selfish, because now you realize it's not all about you. But I do feel like at some point you have to go back to that place.
Yes.
Where I do need to be about me to an extent, because I was still an individual before I became just your mom.
Yes. That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
So I am actually in this process, in this season, which I really think God is like having me to sit down to do some intentional healing. I truly believe that's what this season is. And it is not fun. It's not pretty, but I'm realizing I never took this time. So that's what I've been journeying and documenting. Like on TikTok, I just started this little journey of healing and being transparent through it. And I am not in
that is right not here, you.
Even this big. Right here, I'm very transparent. Like with those that I, when people ask me questions, I'm an open book. But like me put myself, like even this podcast, this is a lot. It's just a lot. But I'm trying it. But that's what I've been Yeah, that's what I've been
Yeah.
journeying, is like this healing and getting back to me, getting to me, because I never took that
Yeah.
time. And like I expressed in that video that I did recently, like I hopped into bonus mom role, stepmom role, while I was still in undergrad, just about, because when I got with my husband,
Yeah.
he already had Tia, our
Yeah.
oldest.
Yeah.
And so I kind of hopped
Mm-hmm.
into that like way too head
Head
strong.
first, all the
Yeah,
way in there.
looking back, I'm like, I did a lot really
Yeah.
early that I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have, but I mean, it got us
We
where we
here
are
now.
here now. So I mean, she's a huge blessing, but I never really explored what Shaniqua likes. Like I went from
Yeah.
home to college
Mm-hmm.
to family, and things
Yeah.
went quick,
Yeah.
and now we're here, 4 children later, and now at this big age of 32, I'm like, wait, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I don't like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
And I
don't
think that's
know.
so honest, Nick. Like, it's like we're shifting gears a little bit because listen, um, over the past like couple of years for myself, it's been this journey of figuring out myself. And I was actually talking to a girlfriend and I was like, we 40, dude. Like, we got it. Like, things are like, we just got to move different. Like, um, and one that I had got braces recently, and I remember, did I say braces? Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't have my
Yes.
lisp
Your
happening. Like, let me make
braces.
sure I said that right. My braces. Um,
I
but one of
love
the
them. They're
reasons.
so cute on you.
Thank you. One of the reasons why I got them was, well, one of my teeth was deciding to like cause an uproar, was causing a little anarchy, and was deciding it didn't want to be a part of that number no more. And I was like, absolutely not. What are we doing?
I love
You will
it.
get in line and march with the others. What are you doing? I pride myself on this smile. It ain't gonna be, you had the top row be all nice and straight, then you get to the person bottom row, you're like, what is happening there? What has
They're
transpired?
over there
That
crip
wasn't
walking.
listen, over here fighting and stuff. We're not doing that. We're not
Oh
doing no gang
goodness.
turfs over in my mouth. And so neither here nor there. But like I got him had the act of self-love,
Yeah.
right? And not realizing like
Oh.
that's what I was doing. I was doing something for myself. The same thing when I got my LASIK, when I got the surgery for my eyes, it was, yeah, I love wearing glasses. I love my glasses. But I also like, the lights not being like crisscross when I'm driving. At nighttime, I like to be able to see. I also like to not squint, you know, at the TV. Like I like to just be able to see the letters and, what I'm watching. Um, and so these small things or major things, whatever you want to call them, um, is leading me to learn how to love me.
Mm.
And how do I love myself well? And it's hard to heal having kids.
That part.
That is very hard to do. And when you have a partner and you trying to heal
Trying not
and
to
you're
feel
undoing
selfish.
stuff,
Yeah.
because you didn't do it when you were single and you're in a space to do that. So I think that's very interesting because I feel like that also kind of plays into that fourth trimester. I feel like there's this reckoning at some point that happens as women where we are kind of like, I want to break this mold that I'm in, this mold of just being mom. I'm just over here feeding a kid, changing diapers, doing this, doing that. And navigating into this space of womanhood, which probably might be quite honestly, the fifth trimester, the unknown trimester of rediscovering who we are as women. How has your healing journey, I guess, kind of affected kind of how you're mothering, how you're showing up?
So I have been trying to learn to embrace it more than bracing it. I feel like for so
Oh,
long
that's
I've been
good.
bracing for what it's going to do. Like, oh no, I feel like it's always like, I'm sorry. I feel like that's what it is. Sometimes it's a distraction to what the kids want. it does feel like it kind of like it's an inconvenience sometimes to like what they have going on. It's like I feel like it's
Yeah.
selfish. Like so I'm
Yeah.
learning to embrace it all, like embracing. So
Mm.
sometimes when they see me cry or they see me having to take a moment for myself, I was feeling bad for it because it's like, oh, well, they want to spend more time with me. Like the other day, we had spent the whole day together and I wanted just a few minutes to go in the baby's room to just breathe by myself.
Yeah.
And one of the girls came in and was like, I just want to sit in here with you and read. I don't want to
Mm-mm.
talk to you. I just want to read. And I was like, hey,
No.
mommy just needs space. We have been together all day. I just need a little bit of time. You're just mommy. And then we can come in.
Mm-hmm.
She made this space where a year or two, just a few months ago, I would have felt so bad, so condemned, so
Mm-hmm.
ashamed, and would have had her in there. But now I'm realizing, like, in order for me to show up fully for them, for her,
Mm-hmm.
I have to show up fully for myself, and I have not done it
Yeah.
at all. Like I have been
And
formed
then
from
she needs to see you though
and
too.
see
She
me
needs to
doing it.
see, yeah, so that she knows it's okay for her to do the same thing. Like
Exactly.
it's gonna be okay for you to tell somebody, no, I need a moment by myself. Give me that. I'm gonna
Yep.
take it. You're gonna be all
And that's what I
right.
told her. I said, "You're not gonna. I'm not gonna feel bad for telling you this." And she was like, "I don't want
She
you to
said, I'm
feel
not gonna feel
bad."
bad.
Because any other time I have always felt bad.
Yeah.
And that's one
Yeah.
thing. My mom was up here recently, and like you said, that's something that my daughter needs to see, but it's something I didn't see from my mom. And so, like
Yeah.
trying to navigate that, I'm glad she
Ooh,
did have
child,
that
that's
talk
another
with.
episode by
It's
itself,
a whole
baby.
nother one. But she did tell me when she was about to leave on Easter, she had came up here and she was like, "Don't do what I did. Like, be better than me. Take time, figure out
Mm,
and explore what it is you like and don't like. If you don't know,
yeah.
that's okay, and that's okay
Yeah.
to navigate that unknown. Because that's how I've
Yeah.
been. I've been in this unknown. Like, I don't want to work, but I got to figure out what I'm doing here in this space where I'm not working because I don't
I've
like it. It
decided
feels weird."
to go on Feet Finder. I've been looking really heavily. Have you heard of it? Feet Finder? I've sent it
This
to some
took a
friends.
huge turn. I'm over here getting deep, and she's
Listen, Feet Finder is where we can find it at. It seems like it's low stress. We ain't gotta show our face or nothing. Just a little toe action.
side
I
note.
think
Tell
it
me, send me that.
say
Image.
more.
I'm over here getting deep, and you said feet finder, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
wait.
I was like, listen, we ain't got to struggle if we ain't got to do it, honey. They say Feet Finder is available. We can't do OnlyFans, but we could do Feet Finder.
I am
Then
so tickled at you. Not a
no, but
feet
seriously,
finder.
but I feel like that's where it is. Like when we're thinking about this particular this trimester, this fourth trimester, this non-pregnancy, this postpartum period, right? I really believe that's where we get lost at. That's the
Mm-hmm.
place where as women we get lost in that space because we are now trying to, like I said, navigate this new normal, this new motherhood, and it's so easy to make everything about
The
these little
child.
dependents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what we're taught to do. That's what we're supposed to do. And then we are taught to believe that we have to pretty much sacrifice our dreams, our hopes and visions and everything else for these kids.
Yeah.
And that
And it's trying to navigate, like, how do I show up fully for them, show up fully as my role as, for us we're wives, but for others it's, significant other or whatever it is, show up fully in all these hats and roles. It's a lot to navigate when your body is recovering, your mind is going through
yeah.
all this because you just gave birth to a human. And I
Yeah.
mean, literally she's only 7.5 months, but if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, like, she was being created for 9 months. Like, my body's still probably
Yeah.
adjusting. But
Mm-hmm. What did they say? Take 18 months to fully heal from a pregnancy?
really,
I
and
think
did we
so.
ever take that time? No.
No.
And then the other thing is, this is my first time being home fully with her. The other two,
Yeah.
like my 6-year-old, I was back to work 3 weeks postpartum. I had just
That's
got
right.
hired, and then 3 weeks later, I went into labor, and then had to get back to
Here
work.
we
No, a
are.
week after I got hired, I had the baby, and then I had to get back to work. With the last one, I was in school and working, so it's just
It's
trying
a
to
lot.
figure out. It's a
And then
lot.
even that though, going back to work within 3 weeks as opposed to taking that time to allow your body to heal, to allow you bonding time with the babies, like, you know, we're constantly moving, constantly feeling as if we have to do so much, um, when really it's not required. All that's not required. We don't need to do all that. Mm-mm. But staying home with them kids is a lot, and that's why mine are not home. And that's why that day I met you, James was going somewhere. Whether it had been your house or somebody else's house,
He was gonna
it
be
wasn't gonna be my
somewhere.
house. He was getting out. He had to go.
I'm
He had
definitely
to go.
thankful for was it Ashley that referred you?
Yes, she did,
So
because she like, you
I
like to
am
drive all over. I was like, I don't like to
you
drive
do
all
though.
over, but I do in real life. We'll get in this car and go. Because, I
You
mean, that's what the
will.
cars are made. But, like, I
I'm
think,
thankful
like,
for that connection that came from her though.
it was so random. And then she left.
She
And it
did.
was sad. She did. She left. But she, it's all about that divine timing and all that
It
good stuff. And
was
it worked out.
so
And then
intentional.
you thought you weren't gonna be my friend. And that
And
also
then
was
you was like,
cute.
"Oh, you gonna be my friend and my child's godmother."
Oh yeah, that was like the icing on the cake.
I told him, I was like, you had kept texting, and then he was like, I've been wanting to talk to you. Then we kept missing each other, and I remember laying in bed going to sleep, and I was like, I told my husband, I was like, for some reason I feel like she wants us to have James, but it didn't make sense in my head. Like, I knew that you weren't giving us James, but for whatever reason I knew you wanted to give us it was just weird. And then you
Yeah.
asked, and I was like, I I knew it. I knew it was
That's right.
something.
Y'all just have
Godparents.
to godparents. Come on, be the baby godparents, cause y'all are amazing. He loves y'all.
It was just funny because I knew something. I was like, how does it make sense that she wants to give us him, but not give us
And
him?
y'all claim him. And I like that too. Like he's a part of the number. Like
He is.
it's not, he ain't got a whole bunch of god brother siblings and stuff like that. Like he
He the
got
only
just
boy.
enough.
He the only boy over
Yeah,
here.
he the only boy. He get to be the little boy. Shoot, he was the only one that was spending the night.
Yep, he was. And he
And he
did
did
so
so well.
well. He did so
He
well.
did. He did. But now, honey, he didn't change. He didn't change. But no, this has been so amazing, sis. I think, before we go, I would just love for you to share with mommies out here, especially new moms, um, some advice on how to navigate this fourth trimester. What would you say to somebody who's like, girl, I'm ready to do like an Issa Rae on Insecure and like whoosh, alley this kid.
I would tell them to find a trusted support system and take that time to explore, figure out what it is. If they don't already know and have things in place, figure out what it is you like and don't like. Figure out what it is that can fill your cup so that you're not pouring from an empty cup, but an overflow of your cup being full.
Yes.
Because that's where things go downhill, because these little ones, they soak up everything we see and do. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how we are where we are, because we soaked up everything we saw our parents do, or the lack
Yep.
thereof. So if we want better for them, we have to be better. We can't do better
Ugh.
for them without first doing better for ourselves, because nobody's gonna love us
Yep.
like we're gonna love ourselves. So it's something I'm
Nobody.
learning.
Nobody,
And it's a
baby.
process. Nobody has it all together. Social
It's a
media has a
lie.
lot of pros and cons, but baby, the enemy knows how to use it to make you feel like you are
The
behind, that you
way,
are not
yes.
doing enough, and you are. Just know, wherever you are doing more than enough. You're still alive, you're still showing up, that child is still alive, well and fed. You
Yep.
have you have done more
And
than you know.
what the quote say, as long as the baby is safe, fed, and well kept, that is a win. That's always going to be a win. And sometimes, even with my kids being the age that they are, as long as I know they got clean clothes, they ate they may not have wanted to eat the frosted flakes, although they asked for it. That's another topic.
Another topic for another
They
day.
they ate, like
Yeah.
the roof is still over here, over their head. Um, But I think, like you said, just really getting to know yourself, and trying not to lose yourself in motherhood. Like in the beginning, obviously, yes, because it's all about the baby in that moment. But even though it's quote unquote all about the baby, it's still about you. And so you're just gonna have to adjust to whatever the newness is, but don't forget about you.
Exactly.
I think that's so important. So tell the good people, if you want, how we can find you, what you working on.
You can find me on I'm on all the socials except for Twitter. I can't get back into the swing of Twitter or X, whatever it is, but I'm on TikTok
We call it
and
Twitter. We don't call it X.
I am on TikTok. Shaniqua Smith, I think it's like 54. Some random number because it's a lot of
So
Shaniqua
long.
Smiths. I'm on Instagram as natural_beauty. Natural is NATURA1 instead of the L, and beauty is with an I. And I'm on Facebook as Shaniqua Smith. So if you follow me on
Yes.
Facebook, you can click and find my Instagram and stuff. I do have the daycare social still up, Leap with Faith Learning Academy. It's very long. But I am looking to have that up and running again. So if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who has building, just send
In
them my
the
way. Especially in the
Birmingham,
Birmingham
yeah,
area, Gardendale, Fultondale area would be
Pinson,
nice.
Fultondale, be great.
Because
Morris.
I'm trying to save all the little babies in your
Yes,
pocket because
y'all.
childcare is a lot.
And I'm just trying to send my kids back. So that's what
That's
I would
it.
like to see happen. That's it. That's it. Y'all, as y'all may know, just a friendly reminder, your girl got a new book coming out October 15th of this year
Yes.
called When Black Girls Dream Big, and then just got the official pub date for Wash Day Love coming out March 4th of 2025. So we have two new picture books coming out, and I just want to take a moment before I end to say thank you to everybody who has reviewed, shared, loved on I Am My Ancestors' Wildest Dreams. That baby is going and still going. So I appreciate all your support. If you don't have a copy, get your copy. It is
Yes.
available wherever you buy books. Literally, it is wherever you can buy a book at, just about. You can find a copy of I Am My Ancestors' Wildest Dreams, illustrated by the Robert Paul Jr. Yes, yes, baby girl. And until next time, I will see y'all on the other side. It's been real. Yes, and also if you happen to catch this on the YouTube, Purpose Driven Mama, grab that merch from Mom Tings, your favorite mommy brand. All right, y'all. We out. We out. Bye.